get rid of that arc. That entire Shippuden thing I went through. He's still gonna have the 3 tamale, of course, but we're not gonna go through that yet. When Christian's at home one day with Sarda and they're during dinner, Christian says, "Mom, may I ask you some questions?" He says, "Sure, what's up?" He says, "I'm gonna ask you 2 things. Are these 2 things extinct?" Number 1, simps. He goes, why you ask that? He says, "I have my reasons." She goes, "Okay, well, no, probably not." He says, "Alright, next, fangirls. Are they extinct? Please tell me they are." It was horrible in the past. I swear to God, if I ever go through that again, I'm gonna literally dump a bottle of water over my head for 10 hours until I get hypothermia. He goes, yes, there are. He goes, "Oh, I'll go get the dry ice instead." She goes, "Wait a minute, dry ice? You said water." He goes, "Yep, well, now that I know that they are, I'm definitely gonna do it. Because I experienced them in the past, and they were annoying." He's wearing Sasuke's old outfit. Well, actually, no, he's wearing Sasuke's outfit. Well, he's just wearing a plain black Uchiha outfit. Well, actually, the blue one. He goes, "This is some nice clothes. I'm gonna go buy something." He puts on a sweatshirt, puts on his hat, and goes and puts it over his eyes so no one sees his eyes because he doesn't want to be recognized. He looks at his phone as he's walking. Then he runs into some people. He goes, schnizzles. Then he says, "I'm sorry about that." They go, "No, it's fine." They say, "Wait a minute, you're an Uchiha." Christian says, "Schnizzles, body flicker." And then just gets out of there. He says, "Phew, I saved myself." Then he goes to buy some bread and some dry ice. He goes, "Excuse me, sir, 5 pounds of dry ice, and I'll take some sweet bread and a malasada. Oh yeah, and a cupcake, and 4 cupcakes." He goes, "Geez, you're gonna eat that all?" He says, "Nope, I'm gonna share it." He says, "Why do you need the dry ice?" He says, "'Cause fangirls exist. That's why." He goes, "I hear you. I remember." He says, "Back in the day when Sasuke used to come, he used to get chased around all the time by fangirls who were trying to get him." He says, "Geez, how much has this guy went through?" He goes, "A lot." Then he gives him his products and he says, "Thank you, sir." Then he heads off and drops it home saying, I'm gonna go get the ingredients, alright, Mom?" She goes, "Yep, thank you." He goes, "No problem." He heads into Ichiraku and says, "Hi." They go, "Well, hello there." He says, "Do you have the ingredients that we ordered?" She goes, "Yep, miso pork, Menma pickle bamboo shoot, seaweed, and the fresh batch of ingredients for it to make the dough." He goes, "Yep, that's all." He says, "Thank you." And she says, "Oh wait, you forgot this. You forgot the pork bones." He goes, "Oh, thank you." And goes, "Thanks." Then he heads back to the house. When he's about to walk away from Taiuchi's daughter, he says, "Hey, would you like a bowl of ramen?" He goes, I can go for a small bowl. The smallest one you got." He goes, "Okay, here." They cook it up and then he eats it going, "Oh, this is heaven. Thank you for the ramen." Because he ate an entire thing. And he paid extra. Then he heads home. He goes, "Oh, tapped out." I'm kidding. I still got about 1,000 Rio left. Then he says, "Oh no." So then when he heads home, he says, "Hi, Tarema." He goes, "Welcome home." He goes, "I brought all the ingredients and got myself a fresh bowl of ramen." He says, "So that's why you were 5 minutes late." He goes, "Dang it, I was late." Gosh dang it. He says, alright. He says, Mom, got the ingredients. Yeah, okay. He says, I brought dessert. He says, did you bring cupcakes? He goes, yeah. He says, then someone flies, like zooms past me. He goes, holy shit, who was that? Soccer says, language. He goes, sorry. He says, wait a minute, Dad, what are you doing here? He goes, can I not be at my house? He says, technically you can't. Without knocking on the door. You could have been some random stranger. He says, what random stranger could glide through your house like that? He says, Lord Seventh, Psy, me, lots of people. He goes, you're right. He says, well, I brought cupcakes, cinnamon buns, sweet bread, and malasada, and cupcakes. Sarda says, cupcakes! Sarda says, Christian, do you want to invite a friend over? Or Sarda, do you want to? Christian says, I'll go call a couple of them. He opens up the boys group chat and says, yo, guys, anyone want to come over for dinner? I got cupcakes for dessert. And basically tons of dessert. He says, I could invite one friend. Sarda's inviting Cho-Cho, so I don't care. I think she's inviting Sumire. He goes, Boruto says, I'll come. I'm bored. I got nothing else to do. I just ate good food. I'll come there. What are you guys making for the dinner? Christian says, I think we're making some kind of... Look, I don't know what they're making, actually. I think might be making homemade spicy ramen. Boruto says, spicy? I'm coming. And then goes, and he gets a knock on the door. He goes, well, you got here fast. You didn't even leave the group chat. He goes, nizzles. Then he presses the button going, he goes, spicy. He says, yeah, I think we're making our own homemade spicy ramen because I got the ingredients from the store. It might take a while, though. Whatever. Christian says, we can go enjoy some sweet bread while we watch memes in my room. Then he gets into the knock and goes, I'll get it. Sarda zooms fast saying, I got it. She says, hi, Sumire. He goes, hi, Sarda. He says, oh, hi, Boruto, hi, Christian. They go, hi. He says, me. They both yell, memes. Then they go, well, they watch memes for hours until the ramen's done. Boruto says, we ran out. He says, then when they both eat too, he says, I think that's enough for both of us, or else we're not going to be able to eat the spicy ramen. He goes, I'll give you... Christian says, hold on a minute. Runs over to the tent and says, what are you doing? That's not no spicy ramen, that's some clean ramen. I'm gonna go get spicy ramen. He says, Boruto, what's your favorite spicy ingredients? We're going to get them. He goes, ghost peppers, Carolina Reapers, hot sauce. They both say, salt. Then they all go, ah. Sumire laughs and then Sarda says, boys are the same. They always do the same thing. Then Shikadai and Inojin are just hanging out. But then they get zoomed past. They go, huh? Mitsuki catches up and then Christian says, how the hell did you catch up? He goes, I am very fast. He goes, yeah, I could tell. He goes, ah. Then they finally make it to the spice store and they buy the best spices. Christian says, habaneros. Boruto says, jalapenos. Christian says, habanero sauce. Christian says, watch this, guys. There's this game based off of our universe, basically. He goes, wait a minute, that's kind of creepy. He goes, I mean, it's kind of cool. They laugh as they see Vizipoo. At least Vizipoo. And then they see Naruto going, red hot habanero, red hot habanero. I wish I could play that clip. They go... He says, wait a minute. Boruto says, wait a minute. Weren't Grandma and Grandpa dead before Dad was even right when Dad was born? Christian says, I think so. He goes, wait, how do you know this? He says, I have my ways, Boruto. He says, then he gets a text from Sarda. He says, oh, great. He says, you have to come home. The food's almost done. He says, we're getting the spices, damn it. She just texts 5 a demon emoji. He goes, she's gonna mess up something, isn't she? He says, let's go. Then they head back home. Mitsuki says, sorry, Mitsuki, we'll do this another time. He says, wait a minute. He body flickers and says, looks at the ramen and goes, that thing is huge! Then he body flickers back. He says, Mitsuki, come on, we have to go get Chocho too, or else it's not going to be fair for Sarda. They go and knock on Chocho's door saying, yeah, Sarda wanted you to come over, but yeah, she invited Sumire, but then we didn't realize how big the ramen was, so we wanted to ask if you wanted to come over. We don't really care. She goes, did you just say ramen? Of course I'm coming, he says. Quickly, everyone hands on my shoulder. They do that, and they go, okay. Then he says, alright, I brought a couple more because, like, the ramen bowl's huge. She goes, yeah, this thing is just too much for all of us to eat. He says, wait a minute. How big are those things? He goes, She says, I think he fainted. Then Boruto says, we got all the spices. He says, no. You guys are going to put those in your share. We'd like our ramen normal. He says, I thought you said we were having spicy ramen. He says, we are. They aren't. We are. He goes, oh, spicy ramen. Mitsuki goes, I haven't really tasted spicy ramen. Their necks crack as they turn going, really? Ow, dang it, that actually kind of hurt. Then Christian adds all of his spices going. Boruto says, ow, dang it, I cut myself with a knife. He says, Christian says, baka, I'll cut it. He goes, then he says, wait a minute, tests the broth and says, this tastes plain, adds a tiny bit of salt and says, mix it up, taste it, going, this is amazing. Sasuke says, hey, don't oversalt it. I hate salt. He goes, what? You hate salt? He says, I don't like spices either. He goes, oh yeah, you have a sweet tooth. Christian says, hey, I just realized how these things were named after your dad. These fish cake things are named after your dad. He goes, why does everything have to be about my dad? He goes, I don't know, maybe because he's the Hokage? And these were made before he even was the Hokage. These were made before he was born. They dump the spices in, and the ramen turns red hot. Christian goes, red hot habanero, red hot habanero. Then the concoction like explodes kind of with flavor going, Christian says, Mitsuki, do you want some spices? He says, I guess I could take a little bit of spices. He puts a little bit in saying, since you're a beginner, he says, just take this jalapeno and taste it. He goes, that's pretty good. He says, geez, on my first time it stung my mouth so hard that I had to drink milk for 12 hours straight. Boruto says, is that even possible? He goes, I don't think so. I think I would have turned fat if that happened. I think I would have been as big as this house if I drank 12 jugs of milk for hours. He says here, a Carolina Reaper. Everyone screams when they first try these. Mickey puts in his saying, tastes good. Christian goes, what? As his Sharingan flares. He goes, how the hell are you doing this? As he's shaking Mitsuki, he goes, Boruto says, how? How are you doing this? You crazy son of a bitch. Christian says, wait a minute. Language Boruto, or else we're gonna get the angry eyes. Then he says, alright guys, I have a new setup in my room. Want to go in it? He says, wait a minute, we were just in there and there was nothing there. He goes, that's the thing. I set it up, my Satocom was setting up when you left. He goes, alright. Then they say, oh, it's Majesty! This is awesome! He says, now let's eat our ramen. Christian goes, oh, this is so good. Nothing beats spices, don't they, Boruto? He goes, yep, nothing. He says, wait a minute, we forgot to add the sesame seeds! And the actual spice from the damn soup. He goes, oh yeah. Then they dump the sausage, mix it around. Then Christian adds the sesame seeds and he goes, ah, this is so good! I would call this, if I could call this episode something, it would be a perfect day for ramen. I just realized how Pokemon is the most Japanese show, yet there's no ramen. We've never seen Ash ever eat ramen. Whatever. So, after they eat, Christian says, you guys want to go train for a little bit? They'll say, sure. Christian gets a text from Sarda saying, we get to have a sleepover. He goes, my room isn't big enough. He goes, wait a minute, yes it is. My room's like luxury. He says, plus, I could sleep like a freaking vampire. I could sleep on the roof if I wanted to. Then a portal opens up. It's blue. He goes, what the? BORUTO! Mitsuki! He says, what is this? Christian quickly writes a note to Sasuke and throws the kunai crashing through the window as they get sucked in. Sakura yells, dang it, Christian, no throwing kunai at the window. But then Sasuke says, wait a minute, there's a note. He says, we were taken through by a portal. We don't know where we are. Please help us. But Sasuke can't read. He goes, damn it, why does he have such bad handwriting? He says, wait a minute, he doesn't have bad handwriting. Says, he has good handwriting, you just might have not good eyes. He reads and goes, they're trapped in, they just got through another portal. Then they fall in. Christian says, where the fuck are we? Christian says, I brought none of my ninja tools. Boruto shivers and goes, why was I only wearing a t-shirt and pants? Christian goes, why was I only wearing a tank? Why was I... He says, don't worry, I brought some scrolls that have some pair of clothes. He goes, why do you have scrolls with clothes? He says, Boruto, remember that time you asked me if you could have instant clothes when I gave you the scroll? He goes, do you still have that? He goes, yeah. He says, then he throws it up in the air and then Boruto's clothes come out of it. He goes, oh yeah, I forgot to put those things in here. Christian puts on his outfit and goes, ah, yeah. He says, we're gonna have to do something. Christian tries to remember something. He says, do you mind giving chakra to my mind? Christian doesn't have Kurama, remember. He's given chakra to his mind by both of them. He goes, mind remembering jutsu. Then he remembers the hand signs for a little wood dome jutsu that they can hide in. He goes, and it's so much force of the chakra that it spans over a large graze of land. And then Christian says, fire style, fireball jutsu. Then creates a fire. Christian goes, he says, wait a minute. Water style, food style, ramening summon jutsu. Then they summon bowls of ramen and then eat. Christian goes, let's save this for morning. He goes, yeah, I think we should. Then they wake up. Then, out of nowhere, all they hear is, Rasengan! Christian goes, what the hell? Then they're broken into. Christian says, dip! They jump in the air. Christian throws a wired kunai, and pulls, going, but then he's instantly punched in the face by a pink-haired person. He goes, all I hear is, cha! But he dodges out of the way, going, cha! Then throws her to the ground, going, ha! Then, out of nowhere, a sword comes at Mitsuki, and Mitsuki says, Light on, have me cats! and hits him. Then Boruto counters, tries to hit Naruto with his Rasengan, but it instantly dispersed, and Christian jumps in the way and says, Chidori! And defeats it. Then, out of nowhere, they hear, I got bronze and left, and then they hear a giant shock. Then they see a person with white hair and a mask. He goes, lightning blade! Christian says, water style, water dragon jutsu! A water dragon comes below the man and bites down on him, slams him to the ground. He goes, then Christian backflips and says, fire style, fireball jutsu! And lights it up. Then he says, fire style, light up jutsu! And then the whole thing lights up. He says, who are you guys? He says, why are you in here? We were just trying to sleep in here. He says, where's Captain Yamato? He goes, who the fuck is Yamato? He says, Sakura yells, the guy you kidnapped to build this thing. He says, no we didn't. I know Yamato, but I don't know who y'all are. I remember the jutsu hand signs to build this thing. Christian pulls from her pocket and says, got it! And they all pull out their hidden leaf headbands and tie him up. Christian goes, He says, I guess you want to fight then. He says, we can't, Boruto whispers, we can't take them on. This is the past Team 7. Christian says, I don't care. They want to attack us for no reason. Mitsisa activates Sage 1 and goes, ah! Boruto starts to charge up his chakra and going, ah! Christian says, Sharingan! They say, Sharingan? Then he says, Chidori! And rushes at Naruto, cutting him a little bit, then kicking him in the face. He goes, then he punches him up in the sky and says, Rasengan! And launches him down. He goes, Dah! He goes and says, they say, Sakura is worried since her friend just got one-shotted. Just got destroyed. She goes, Naruto! Then Christian says, we're gonna have trouble taking out Kakashi. He's got the Sharingan as well. He says, how do you know me? He says, Christian whispers saying, we're in the past, aren't we? He says, damn right we are. Then a portal opens and Sarada falls through. Christian says, Sarada, you alright? She says, yeah, I'm okay, but where are we? He says, that's where we are. She says, she's about to say, but Christian blocks her mouth saying, don't say that word. Then she breaks his hand. He goes, damn it, what? Get your dirty hands off my mouth. He says, and put those words right back in your mouth. They go, Team 7 goes, he says, well, at least all of Team 7 is back together to fight. He says, looks like these guys want to fight, and we'll show them it. He says, Team 7 combo attack! But then out of nowhere, another portal falls and Konohamaru falls out. Christian says, what the hell is going on here? I am literally about to fucking kill everybody here. He says, you know what? Matter of fact, fire style, fireball jutsu. And shoots in the sky. Then he says, with a thunderclap, die. And throws it down, but really he doesn't. It's a fake. It goes right through the ground. Kakashi says, I didn't use Kamui. Then he goes right through it going, Chidori! And goes to hit him, but he's blocked by Kakashi. Kakashi goes for his own. Christian grabs his one going, yeah! He said, Kakashi tries to put him in Sharingan Genjutsu, but Christian closes his eyes. Then he says, Sharingan! And puts Kakashi in a Genjutsu saying, reverse Genjutsu, bitch! Then punches Kakashi back. They say, Sensei! Naruto goes, ah! Going into one tail. Christian says, damn it! Then, no, actually, he activates QBI's. Christian's dodging most of his attacks, trying to hit him. Then Boruto goes, ah! Then the karma spreads around his hand and up his eye. He goes, ah! Then his Jogan activates. Christian says, holy shit! Then he says, then Boruto easily destroys Naruto, with the karma being insanely powerful. Then Christian goes, then they hear a huge heartbeat, like the anime heartbeat, whenever like something's happened to the anime character. Christian goes, ah! Then black things go all over his body. Then his curse mark. He says, I don't have a curse mark, no. But then pretend like his karma activated as well. Because remember, he killed Urashiki, so he's got a karma. He goes, ah! And his karma activates, going. Boruto says, when did you have karma? He says, since we defeated Urashiki. He goes and says, Chidori! But when he does it, it's black. He goes, alright then, black Chidori! And then goes and and they're easily defeating Team 7. Christian goes, T. Then Naruto does the cringiest thing and goes, Squall be put anew. Naruto does it. He says, guys? But then Naruto activates Seiju mode. Christian goes, holy shoot, we're gonna die. Then Christian dotted out of the way going, dang it. Then Christian says, here goes nothing. Wood style, deep forest emergence. And traps them all. He goes, stay still. And holds them in, stealing away their chakra. And giving it to his teammates and him. He goes, then they finally fall to the ground. Christian scoops up Boruto picks up Naruto, Konohamaru picks up Sakura. No. Konohamaru picks up Kakashi. Mitsuki picks up Mitsuki picks up Sai. And Christian picks up Sakura, and Sarada grabs their bags. He says, thanks a lot. Now you have to go. Then when they're halfway back to the Leaf Village, Sakura goes, ah! And then headbutts him down. He goes, damn it, I just say we were just bringing you back to the Leaf, and this is what I get. He goes, well, actually doesn't say anything. He's knocked out. He goes. Then Sakura punches the ground where he is actually hitting his back. Then she hears a crack and goes, uh-oh, I shouldn't have done that. Then the whole ground below them explodes. Then Christian appears above her. She says, what the? But you're on the ground. He says, I am on the ground. That is me. I am a clone. And you in this entire village are space dust! And charges up a Rasengan, going, ah! And is actually in the Gallic gun pose, just like I am in real life right now. This feels so awkward. And goes, ah! And his Rasengan is blue. Then he goes, ah! And says, Rasen Beam! Then goes, boom. She dodges out of the way, but it hits her still. She goes, ah! And says, then Naruto wakes up, and he sees, then that clone poofs. Then Naruto, Kakashi wake up. But then Christian, Sarada, Mitsuki, Sarada, Boruto, Mitsuki, and Konohamaru all feel slight and a giant takeaway in their chakra. Then they fall to the ground. There's no one there. Their chakra just randomly got depleted. Kakashi and Naruto wake up, and so does Sai, and they say, what the heck happened? Sakura says, something happened. Then Sai goes up to pick up, but then he realizes, what happened to his back? Sakura pretends like nothing happened. He says, what do you mean, Sai? He says, feel this. He feels and says, there's nothing there. He goes, exactly. Then he says, wait a minute, I feel dust. He goes, Sakura. She goes, He goes, I think his back is and Kakashi screams as he jumps in the air going, ah! His back is literally coming back to normal. But he's still knocked out. Then they're taken into Leaf custody, aka the hospital. And they're stuck in a maximum security room with all 5 of them. When Christian wakes up, he doesn't know where he is and says, Rasengan! Who are you all? He says, you can't hit me with that, you're too far away. Sakura warns Lady Tsunade that he can shoot it into a beam. He says, Then he switches it to Chidori and she goes, so what? Then he puts his hand out and says, Chidori Senbon, but doesn't do it. She goes, then she jumps out of the way, and then jumps for a punch. He says, perfect. Then puts his hand out and stabs her, saying, Chidori Blade. He goes, but then she just goes right through it and just knocks him out again. He goes, God fucking damn it. Then she says, then Sakura says, Lady Tsunade, would you mind examining their hands? She goes, why, Sakura? Because she says something from their hand was making them stronger. She looks and says, what is this? Then they examine it and they say it's a karma seal. And then she looks at their birth dates and all this stuff, because they do have their shikif. And she says, but that's like 10 years in the future. What the heck? Then they both get knocked out by something. Christian says, I'll be taking those. Those do not belong to you. Then Sakura, Naruto, and Sai and Kakashi all turn into Christian Boruto. Well, actually turn into Boruto, Sarada, Mitsuki, and Konohamaru. And Christian is Tsunade. And Sakura's just knocked out. He goes, that did feel weird to get stabbed by myself, and they poof. He says, no, they don't. Then Christian taps them on the head. Taps Christian, Boruto, Sarada, Konohamaru, apparently. All of them, apparently. And all of them. And then they turn back to their original forms. Christian's is just a shadow. Kakashi's is just a clone. So Christian just taps it and it just poofs. And Naruto, Sakura, and Sai and Kakashi are laying down there. Well, and Tsunade is put in the 5th bed. Then they're gone. She says, where are we? He says, Tsunade says, why was I talking to myself? Then she says, where did they go? We have to catch them. They're walking out. But then Kakashi says, he says, Chidori. But then a purple portal comes and says, that's our cue. Bye-bye. Then they fall through. Then the portal disappears. She says, dang it, they've been following the leaf now. She says, launch a full security attack. Then he also left a note saying, we were from the future and your minds are erased in the next 20 seconds. Then she forgets everything. And so does everyone who met them. And that's it. さあ、どってばさ